Today, the age in which you can receive full Social Security benefits are going to rise to 66 years and 10 months, starting yesterday. It is the second to last step before it reaches 67. So all those morons who have been calling for the rise of Social Security, you don't have to write that down. All those morons who have been calling for raising the age of Social Security did not know that this was already built into the plan from 1983. There was a deal that was made at that time under a commission that was headed by Alan Greenspan during the Reagan years to gradually raise the age of retirement. So for people my age, if you were born in 1960 or later, your full retirement age is at 67. If you were born in 1959 after January 1st, you got 66 years and 10 months. But here's the real issue. You're going to hear they're going to start to come for Social Security. They're going to start saying, like, we can raise the retirement age because people live longer. The fact of the matter is people in the top 50 percentile of wealth and income live longer, but not in the bottom 50 percentile. Not by much, a year or two, certainly not much more than 1960, not than being 67 years old. Then you're going to hear, well, when Social Security was first started, we had 4 workers for every 1 person in retirement, and now we have 2. And that is true, except for those 2 workers are far more productive. The real issue that they are not telling you is because of wealth disparity. Some people at the upper end of the spectrum are hoarding so much money that their wages are not touched by the Social Security tax. I'm going to give you an example. If you make $30,000, so just put 30K, you don't have to write make, just put 30K, it's times 6.2%. Can you go down a little bit so we can get it into the middle of the frame a little bit? Just hit the return on this. The employer, or I should say the employee, pays 6.2%. Yeah, there we go. And just come down a line or two. Yep. Okay, right there. It's good. And that amount is $18.60. Now, your employer matches it. You pay $18.60. Now, equals. This is a math problem. If you make $50,000, you pay 6.2%, and that equals $3,100. If you make $100,000, 6.2, this is easy, $6,200. If you make $176,000 a year, which is where the cutoff is, 176 at 6.2, you're paying $10,912 in Social Security wage taxes. But here's where it starts getting interesting, and this is the problem. If you make $400,000 a year, it's 6.2% only on the first 176, so it equals $10,912.
Might want to implement copy paste the times 6.2 to the, right? Make it a little easier for you, Bradley?
Yeah.
Because it's 6.2 only on the first 176. So you don't even have to do the 6.2% because if you make $3 million, you don't put the 6.2% anymore because it only applies. Guess how much tax you pay? Wage taxes. Again, it's $10,912. So just put equals $10,912. If you make $100 million a year, and I'm just assuming this is as a wage, You pay $10,000, 912. So the point is that our system caps it at 176. And if that 6.2% was applied to 400,000, it turns out that if you make 400,000, your actual wage tax is 2.7%. If you make $3 million, your actual wage tax is 0.37%. If you make 100 million, it's 0.01%. The problem is that we need to raise the cap on Social Security.
Yep.
That's the only problem. That so many people are making 400,000 or 3 million or 100 million that we are not touching the same amount of wages that we were in 1983. In 1983, it was 91% of wages made were subject to the Social Security tax, and now it's like 85%.
So you need to eliminate the cap on taxable income, right? Or raise it at the very least. You could eliminate it altogether.
Eliminate it altogether.
The Biden administration was floating a donut hole, which would mean that frankly, this is kind of the constituency that the Democrats have over-cultivated, the like highly educated upper middle class thing. That would basically make it so that there would be a donut hole.
176 to 250 or
right.
250 to 400 or something like that.
You're not taxed, but then say, I think maybe the proposal was if you're a millionaire or if you're making $500,000, then it kicks in again. I think that would be preferable to what we have now. But for the longevity of a program, the universality of it makes things more durable, right? So eliminating the cap would be great, but at least raising it significantly makes it so much more durable and less subject to kind of tweaks. Because a donut hole, you could change who is subjected to the donut hole.
Gregarious Christ asked, is there a reason not to just remove the cap flat out? And there is a reason, and it's called politics.
Yeah.
It's called electoral politics. Because there's a lot more people between 250,000 and 400 or wherever, 200,000 and 400 or 176 and 400. That's why Biden was like, if you made less than 400,000, we're not going to raise your taxes.
Don't worry. Yeah.
That is their theory, where they will not lose the amount of votes that they need to make this, continue to make this a universally beloved program. Regardless, this is the issue. It's not how many workers per retirees. If it was, you could just solve that with immigration. It's not the longevity of people. No. This is the issue. The issue is we do not, because so many people have such concentrated wealth, that wealth is on the other side of the cap that we have on Social Security.
Right. And there's a reason you don't hear about that very topic much, right? It's not, you'll hear it sometimes from the Democrats, but from the Republicans, they will make it about immigration. They will make it about worker productivity. And then they'll make it about, this is why we have to justify austerity, because it's not working. We've got to make changes. And those changes will just exacerbate the problem. But that's what we call the myth of right-wing populism, because that's not a thing.
There is a right-wing populism, but it's just a right-wing populism. It is not economic populism. The right-wing populism is a defined thing, and it is nativism, and it is fascistic. I mean, that's just simply this is a thing. The academics have talked about this for years before it became something that Donald Trump utilized, and it provides some services and some material benefit, but based upon things like race, And
in Viktor Orban's Hungary, benefits based on your heterosexuality, right? Like they'll have benefits for certain families, but only if they fit into a specific mode of what a family looks like. And say if your wife doesn't work and is more in the home, a traditional family, that's their vision.
It's interesting that like right-wing populism and I'd say like maybe Frantz Fanon critique of nationalistic movements not having a class analysis are kind of the same issue, because nationalism, you have sort of nationalistic revolutions that or anti-colonial revolutions get the colonial power out of it, but then just replace with another bourgeoisie of, that looks more like them.
I'm not trying to say that it's not a movement, but I am trying to say that there's a fallacy inherent in the word populism that they're trying to deploy, because it's not for
Here
any.
is the thing.
Yeah.
When you say populism, you could be talking about fascism or you could be talking about socialism. And so the word itself, deployed in that way, I am a populist, tells you nothing about that person until they define whether they are a right-wing populist or a left-wing populist. Because you might as well just say, I am a human. On some level, you can be good, you can be bad.
Right.
You can be tall, you can be short. It is a baby-brained. The only people who really utilize the term populist, and it imports all that it needs to import, are folks like neoliberals or elites.
Yeah.
Those are the people who see value in that term, because it allows them to get rid of a wide swath of people. But if you are talking about your own populism, to say I'm a populist tells the listener nothing about what you believe in, because you do not want to get in bed with those right-wing populists if you are an economic populist or a left-wing populist, because it doesn't end up very good.
Because the economic stuff that they talk about, my overall point is it's a lie. Like JD Vance can talk about the child tax credit all he wants. He didn't show up to the vote. JD Vance can talk about how much he likes Lena Khan all he wants. Doesn't matter. She's still being ousted as FTC chair. So they're lying about the economic elements.
Hey folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.